guys. Let's do a really good job when we get out there, okay? Just talking to myself.
All right. It's Sean and Jerry and Alex in the morning. Nights.
Oh, we didn't coordinate. I thought it was going to be at night.
Shout out to no one watching right now, but I'm sure people are going to be in the chat hopefully soon, maybe. It's the late night pod. It's 10:03 right now. We're going to be done by 11. But, and Zach's here. Zach says it's a better start time, so already we're making Zach happy, which, as you know, is all I strive to do apparently in this league because he just can't lose. So we're going to get into the Week 14 recap, and then we have a big decision where Alex is going to choose which Nova boy he wants to face in round 1 of the playoffs based on our new rule. He's the first one who gets to make this pick, so it's the LeBron decision time in about 30 minutes.
I hate making decisions.
Well, and this is like, if you lose in the first round and the other person you would have beaten, it's just chef's kiss.
That is why this is like so much better than doing it normally. Is like because you get to be the person that either fucks yourself or helps yourself.
Yeah, it's great. Also, shout out really quick to Zach, Jason McMillan, and Brad all in the chat. Go ahead, Alex.
I was just gonna say, you just gotta pick whatever's gonna piss you off the least if you lose. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Honestly, that's a valid strategy. I mean.
Spoken like a true fantasy
at the end of this, I'm just saying, at the end of this, he's going to be like Will Ferrell in Step Brothers. He's like, I didn't want Sam. It's like, I didn't want to pick. I just wanted to be able to play my matchup.
All right, so looking at the first matchup, we always start with my matchup as tradition. I put the final nail in James's coffin. He really didn't have much of a hope for the playoffs, but certainly not with a loss, and not scoring at such a low clip of points. I thought going in, after the 1 o'clock games, I thought I was dead in the water. And then, once again, George Kittle comes to my rescue, as does James Conner, in the 4 o'clock games, and put up nearly 40 points between the two of them. So, I got my first win in 4 weeks. I finally got the win I needed, and thankfully Brad lost and gave me the bye. Not much more to talk about in this one. James's team is
you ran really good. James' team
I wouldn't say really good. I had both of my quarterbacks, my fill-ins for Lamar Jackson, both get injured and put up less than 20 between the two of them. Wouldn't say really good, but
so you do know that how the person does against you also is a factor in you running. Okay, it's like AJ Brown 6. Mike Evans, less than 9.
Jerry, I had to
Travis
complain.
Kelce, 7. Yeah, I know.
I have to meet my quota.
Bills defense, -7.
Oh, that was the other thing about the 4 o'clock game.
In a 15-point matchup?
That was a 4 o'clock game, too. So that was actually what was really helping me was, like, not only did I put up 38 between my tight end and my running back, but his defense went -7. It was, just beautiful. And the Bills lost with Josh Allen getting 6 touchdowns. Just, it made me so happy. Alex, what's on your hat?
You ran good. You get a win. Brad gets a loss.
My take.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You ran good. You get a win. Brad gets the loss in a matchup that he probably should have won. And yeah, you get a bye. And again, the whole voting. We said I was going to bring it up right away. The whole voting on the thing is like it's not about how much you complain. Because no, there are like you made a very valid point, Sean. Like I probably over the course of the entirety of the league, I probably complained more than most people. I've also made the playoffs 3-4 times as the wild card. I've also come in last 3 times. We're all flipping coins here, guys. We know I'm allowed to complain. If you're in a bye, you're not allowed to complain. That's the point. It's like you got the bye, Sean. Stop complaining. I'm over here fighting for my life to avoid coming in last 2 years in a row, 3 times in 4 years. Just let me have this one.
So all I'll say, I said to Zach when he locked it up, when I locked it up, he sent me a message said easy, right? And I said, what I'll say about that was it wasn't well done, but it was done.
It was done.
Moving to your matchup, Jerry, with Scotty. I mean, it
encapsulates my season. It really does. I had another situation where like I was projected to win like all actually I think I actually had a pretty good like I don't know, did I have somebody on Thursday? I was projected to win for the majority. Actually, I was projected I think to win by like 25 points going into Monday night. And what happens? Jamar Chase goes for 38 and fucks me up. And I lose by 11. And I even got the little bit of bump with Brees Hall to I think Alex, I think you have Brees Hall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Brees Hall's out unexpectedly. I got to swap in Braylon Allen, got 10 points out of him. Like that was as good as I could have expected, considering at the time I was expecting to start Pacheco and Hunt. Like, no, that was about as good as I could have expected. And then my season is what it is.
It didn't
I've
help
just
that
been
T. Higgins didn't do anything.
Thielen over
No,
Higgins
like,
could have gotten you the win.
yeah, but like it's kind. I mean, yes, I've like seriously been on the fence about starting Adam Thielen or I mean, I think last week Keenan Allen had like 21. It's like I actually my wide receivers are decent. I have like 6 startable wide receivers. I just every time I pick one, the ones on the bench do better. And T. Higgins, I don't know how many touchdown passes did Joe Burrow throw. I don't even know, but all I know is that he's like fuck T. Higgins. Jamar Chase is down there somewhere.
All right. Meanwhile,
and Scotty with the ice bagel, by the way.
Yeah, Scotty does get an ice bagel, but he also gets
oh yeah, that was the other thing. Jaden Reed started off with a 0, which was helpful for me at the beginning of the week.
Well, and Scotty's points scored kept him in a situation where he's like, he was above Brad, so he's not subject to Alex's selection, although I don't think Alex would have selected Scotty anyway. I think Scotty would probably be the least likely team that Alex would want to play, save for himself. So yeah, moving on to Alex just putting a hammering on Jason Smith. Alex, your team is really scary, like right now. Like you guys are just going off. Jordan Addison having 35, Chase Brown 21, Burrow doing Burrow things, which I'll announce it on the pod. I think I made. I don't know if I announced it in the chat. I went back through the pods today to see if I could find like the slap bets that were made or any of the slap bets. Turns out I made one with Brad, and it was whether or not Joe Burrow. It was like week 3 that this happened. Would finish the season as a QB1.
Did you lose?
Oh yes, Joe Burrow is QB3 overall right now. And I did not think he would finish the season as QB1 based on how he started the season. And now I am going to get slapped by Brad on Saturday, so that's not great.
God willing.
Yeah, I'm loving having Joe Burrow on my team.
I would say. And Tua's back and doing Tua things.
Tua's doing Tua things. But honestly, where the fuck did Jordan Addison come from this week?
He really fucked me up because now I have 5 viable receivers to start this week, and I don't know whether to start him.
Oh, you poor thing. Oh, no.
I don't know whether to start Addison or DJ Moore now.
You need the set it or forget it method. You just need exactly the number of people you need.
I mean, Brees Hall is doing me a little bit of a favor if he decides to sit out again. So we'll see what happens there.
Bro, please tell me he sits out again. I can start Braylon Allen with confidence.
Now, I know Jason Smith had a few guys on bye. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is a starter. Obviously, Joe Mixon is a starter.
Joe Mixon, yeah.
Mondre,
Mixon and
I don't know that he's starting Mondre right now, but like
Mondre
Joe
probably
Mixon
not.
Joe Mixon and Jaden Daniels is.
But can I just ask?
Top 5 quarterback, top 5 running back, if I believe, or top.
Let's ask the question that has been debated over the second half of the season. Is Jason Smith's team actually good on paper anymore?
I mean, on paper, DK Metcalf is supposed to be a number 1 receiver, and that has not been.
Zach has a really good point, by the way,
Lamb.
about Addison. Zach dropped Addison in the middle of the season. That might have been a mistake.
Oh, yeah, and I blew my load on it, and you guys talked about it like I made a mistake,
right.
which I thought I did. But, I mean, I kind of still did because I could have got him for way cheaper, but
hey,
I thought other people bid on him.
We pre-checked.
So I will say, Jason's team, he put up 118 with Amon-Ra giving him 8, DK Metcalf giving him 7. Like, I don't know. I mean, he's starting Gus Edwards right now. Like J.K. Dobbins, if he's coming back, is going to be helpful. He missed out on both Joe Mixon and Jaden Daniels. Again, top 5 quarterback, top 10 running back. He still put up 120.
Here's a pop quiz. When was the last time Amon-Ra St. Brown had double digits?
Double-digit points?
Yes.
Probably 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, week 11.
Still, he's good on paper. St. Brown and Metcalf are supposed to be good players. So is CD Lamb. And,
I think, but
CD Lamb had a good week this week, but
Yeah.
like he hasn't been.
I think that this week in particular, I would expect a jump from Amon-Ra because he's going to be playing against the Bills. They're going to need to score points. I don't think they're going to be able to I mean, I guess I don't know exactly how the flow of the game has happened for the Lions the last couple of weeks, but like, didn't they like jump up pretty quick? Actually, no, I guess both of those games were relatively close, weren't they? I don't know. I think there's an expectation that Amon-Ra is going to come back alive at some point.
Well, and again, I do think the Mixon and Jaden Daniels thing, like, I will agree his team is good on paper. It certainly isn't great on paper anymore. Like,
Yeah.
Jason Smith is, like, I think everyone can agree I'm the weakest team in the playoff field. Based on, like, recent results. I think Jason is, and again, I don't want to spoil your decision, Alex, but I think Jason is probably number 2 in the weakest in the field. Like,
I actually had a hard decision. Like, I think it's a hard decision because I feel like Jason and Brad's team are fairly equal.
similar.
But yes, and it's. I mean, it's just all the playoff teams are very close. I mean, obviously Zach has a slight edge over all of us, but I feel like the rest of the 5 playoff teams are pretty close.
I noticed how you said 5 playoff teams. I noticed that not 6 playoff teams. I guess I know who's not included.
No, I said Zach.
5.
I said Zach has a slight edge,
Oh.
and the rest of the 5 are
I
pretty
don't think
close.
I'm close.
I mean, Alex, gotta feel pretty good from your perspective, though, right? I mean, you put the best lineup you could possibly. I mean, even if Matt Stafford had played, I mean, putting up 177, you got 4 guys on bye. Must feel good.
Yeah, it does feel good. I'm nervous that the shit won't keep up, but I mean, we'll see what you know. Just gotta ride it. You gotta ride the high. Just gotta keep it going.
All it takes is one bad week. Now, and Scott joined the chat. Also, Brad says, "In what universe am I not better than Jason?"
I didn't say you weren't better.
I didn't say that, Brad.
I said it was
I've made it
close.
very clear. Brad, you are winning the championship. There's no scenario in this world. I already spelled out the entire thing that's going to happen. I put it in the chat earlier, not the main chat, the side chat. You'll remember.
Moving to Zach and McMillan's matchup, I think Jerry last week on the pod, you and I were talking about this, and you're like, "Oh yeah, Zach will lose this one because it doesn't matter."
And McMillan outperformed my expectations, putting up 131. I was just like, no, Zach's going to get a loss because all of his players are going to shit the bed, and McMillan's going to have a good week. And McMillan had a good week.
It was a high-scoring week all around. Everybody scored pretty well this week.
Is exactly, Alex. That's exactly right. Like, no one had a down week this week, and fucking 132 just, I mean, half the time wasn't good enough this week.
Yeah.
I mean, Zach did benefit from Puka putting up 35. Tyreek did Tyreek things finally. Sure.
But no, I mean, like, if you had told me when we were making our predictions last week, it is guaranteed that McMillan's going to put up above 130, I would have. How much money do you want to bet that he's going to win this week? Is what I would have been telling you.
Yeah.
But
130 is usually pretty safe.
130 is usually pretty solid to get a win. Yeah. I mean, I think I put up 121. I think I finished 8th in scoring this week.
That's crazy.
Yeah. His quarterbacks, what they put up, 22 points or 22 points combined. Like that's pretty weak for quarterbacks. So the rest of his team was really carrying him.
I'm so glad I didn't play against McMillan this week. I would have lost by less than 1 point and lost the bye. Oh.
Again, you run so good, Sean.
Shut up.
You run so good. Like, if I'd played McMillan this week, I also would have lost. If I had played literally anybody but like one person, I would have fucking lost this week. That's how my season's going. I'm trying to pass you back, and like I was actually a little frustrated when I asked multiple people about who complains the most. Like 3 people were like, Sean or Jason, and I was like, damn, I'm not even top 2. I got to up my game here. I got to like stab somebody, get my rep up.
I was wondering how many people you asked.
No,
on
I
the
hit up
side.
everybody except for James is who I hit up.
What's that? What's that from? You got to stab somebody or something.
Somebody get your
longest yard.
Longest
yard. I'm half a star.
It's like I got to do something to get my rep up. Like,
all right. Finally,
definitely at the beginning of the year when literally all of Jerry's team was injured, he was bitching more than anybody. And then
like week 5 or week 6 is when I just like my season's run. It is what it is. My season's over. And then Sean's over here at fucking 6-1, being like, "God damn it, I lost another player."
Yeah, I lost the number 3 wide receiver in fantasy.
So I was actually I had actually already planned for this to bitch a little bit tonight. So in the top 3 rounds, guess how many players in the top 3 rounds of the draft? Guess how many players have scored less than 100 points this season? Through the regular season, how many have scored less than 100?
I'm gonna say 3.
It is less than 3.
2.
It is 2.
And they're
guess
both
who
on your
drafted?
team.
It's Isaiah Pacheco and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Everybody. Now this is also not an exaggeration. Everybody in the first 3 rounds, every player in the first 3 rounds, if you only take 2 of their games, have outscored both Isaiah Pacheco and Christian McCaffrey. Everyone has like at least 50 points through in like their top 2 games have scored at least 50. Isaiah Pacheco and Christian McCaffrey have scored like 40 and 50 in their like in all. I mean, obviously like McCaffrey only played 4 games, but I'm like in those 4 games he scored 40 points. Like he was underperforming even in the games that he did play.
I just really appreciate that you're really trying to pump your complaining numbers up to.
No, I am. That's what made me laugh so much today when I was like, I'm already coming into this pod ready to complain, and then you said something, and I was like, yeah, but you're also like in the buy and complaining more than me. And you're like, no, I'm not. I was like, wanna bet? And like everybody's just like, yeah, Sean's complained more because I stopped complaining after week 4.
I think there's also an element of like recency bias because like I have complained.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
absolutely, there's. Which is why I'm saying like I stopped complaining after like week 4 because I was like my season sucks. But
I just want to put it in perspective. I have complained a lot over the last 4 weeks or like 4 or 5 weeks because I lost the wide receiver 3 in fantasy, and when I was.
Do you have a bye?
Well, hold on. When I was 3 games clear of the rest of the league for the bye with 4 games to go, then my team poops the bed 3 straight times, and my team gets has 2 injuries a week, and guys don't finish games. I think I had a couple ice bagels in that time. Like, I understand.
I'm trying to pass you, and you're just.
All right.
Sean's
real hard.
Sean is like the opposite of my team, where it's like I started slow and finishing hot, where he started hot and finishing slow.
I mean, that's how you win championships in fantasy football, though. It's about getting hot at the
start hot and finish slow.
Sneak into the playoffs. both of my championships, I have been the 6th seed.
What happened with your Sackos?
I was 3. Actually, I think 2 of my Sackos, I was like the leading person to get the wild card, and then like the final week I get past.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Like stop pretending we're not flipping coins. We're all flipping coins. Just when you're winning, stop complaining about the coin flips.
That's what makes this decision so hard for me too, because I'm literally flipping a fucking coin here.
Well, we're about to get to it. We got one last matchup to talk about. Brad's
creating 2 different timelines by picking in this scenario. By the way, Alex.
Of course he is, Jerry. So Window coming through in the clutch. Window, mwah, I love ya. I love ya. Mwah. Saving my bacon, putting up 165 to keep Brad out
of nowhere.
Honestly, this is totally karma for all this shit Brad has talked all year about like Window's baby, like talking shit about like Window talks about his baby all the time and stuff like that. It like every time Window in the JC Penni chat brings up Charlotte, Brad is like, Window talking about his baby again. This is such karma for it, and I love it so much. I mean,
who could have expected Zach Charbonnet to just go out there? I mean, the benefit of Kenneth Walker going down, 35 fucking points. Sam Darnold's
so good.
Points. What the fuck, man? Does anyone remember him on the Jets?
How
about
stupid?
In Carolina? How about in San Francisco when he couldn't get on the fucking field?
How stupid do the Jets feel right now that like Sam Darnold's going off? Zach Wilson's more relevant than Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think that they feel bad because they just realize like Sam Darnold could not win for them. Like the Jets are the Jets. Like you literally put it in the fucking pod like recap thing. It's like when Zach started the Jets defense and they gave him -9. Like the Jets will always be the Jets. Like there's a fucking movie with Pete Davidson where they specifically talk about this. The fuck is it? It's like the King of Staten Island or some movie like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But he literally like is complaining to his mom's new boyfriend. It's like you're a degenerate gambler who bets on the Jets. He's like, the Jets are gonna come back. Like they're never gonna come back. Like the Jets will always be the Jets. Every quarterback that has gone to play for the Jets just need to leave, and then they go elsewhere and they do better. Like you literally have just like a proven track record of this. Brett Favre fucking played for the Jets.
There was a meme,
and then he went to play for Minnesota and go to an NFC Championship game. Like
there was a meme about like Devontae Adams since like October, whatever, and it's like lost to the Steelers, traded to the Jets, lost, beat the Texans, lost, and it's like he's had a shitty couple months.
He lost to the Steelers back-to-back weeks. He lost to the Jets or lost to the Steelers with the Raiders, then got traded to the Jets and lost to the Steelers again.
But this also works just in Window's favor because Devontae Adams finally has a decent week as a Jet, puts up 21 fucking points. Like,
but Window.
I know Zach had mentioned to me that Window was like, "There's no way I can win this week. I'm in bye week hell. It's over."
He was. Derrick Henry, Tank Dell, Anthony Richardson.
But here's why I sit here and tell people we are flipping fucking coins.
I should have named the episode "We Are Flipping Coins" or something.
I mean, probably.
He just keeps
but
saying.
like, no, he puts up. He literally is like, "I'm in bye week hell. I can't win," and he fucking leads. Or he's second in scoring this week. Puts up 166 points. Guys, anybody can go off at any time. That's the reality of what we're like. I read a funny thing today because I was literally like, I'm actually curious. What percentage of fantasy football is actually luck versus skill? And I read things like fantasy football is 95% luck and 5% luck. That's it.
I saw something.
Think about how different my season is. If I'm like Christian McCaffrey injured, nah, it's okay. I'm gonna take Josh Allen. I would have fucking taken Saquon Barkley in the second round.
I hear Jerry talking about like it's all luck, and I just all I hear is so you're telling me there's a chance that I win.
There's a chance that you can win. Of course,
it's definitely so much luck.
But I think that you have. Sorry, go ahead.
If you consistently make the playoffs every year, you're kind of good at fantasy, in my opinion. Like if that's a good gauge. Like if you continually make the playoffs.
So I mean, like yes, there is some skill involved.
Stop extolling Zach.
No.
Zach's
a fucking box. Like
Zach is definitely lucky, but he's also like kind of good too. Like there's.
Oh yeah, the guy who drafted Justin Tucker this year.
Like, no, I'm saying it's a lot of luck, but like you have to have some skill to be able to do it year in and year out. In my opinion.
I mean, there's some involved, but in any given week, any given matchup, it's like 60-40 at the absolute biggest in any given individual week.
Yeah.
And the reality of like how different can one little decision derail everything for you? Like I said, if I had taken Josh Allen instead of Christian McCaffrey, I'd take Saquon Barkley in the second round. Like 100%, because I wouldn't have gone running back. I would have gone quarterback running back. Cool. And my entire season is completely different. And I know this because I also took Josh Allen, Devin Achane, Saquon Barkley in another league, and it's just like, hey, everything went completely great, and I'm in first place, and I'm going to make a championship. It's like something that minute of a difference of Christian McCaffrey versus Josh Allen shouldn't be the difference in first and last, and it just is because I compounded on that by making other mistakes. Like I took Elijah Mitchell at the end of the draft. He also goes on injured reserve. Window picks up Jordan Mason. That kind of derailed my season right from the start because it's like I made a coin flip mistake that led me to make other mistakes.
The draft, like what happens in the draft plays a huge role. Obviously, that there's no question about that.
Oh, absolutely.
And the one thing I'll say about it is so. I mean, at 101, I was between Lamar and Tyreek Hill. If I draft Tyreek Hill instead of Lamar,
season's different.
Yeah, you're fucked.
I'm done.
You are not in the playoffs right now. I don't think.
Correct.
It's a lot like poker in that way. It's like you got
poker. I would say is way more skill.
I would agree. It's a lot more.
I don't know about. I mean, it kind of is, but like if you do your, I don't know.
But like he does.
I kind of think fantasy football and poker are similar.
Zach in the chat, let me know. Is poker or fantasy football more skill? Let me know.
Think about this part. Like when you're heads up.
I'm not saying it's not more skill. I'm just saying they're kind of similar. Like,
but hold on.
Oh yeah. I mean, yes.
When you're heads up with someone pre-flop, right? Like generally speaking, like what are the percentages? Like, obviously, if it's like aces against like, nines or something like that, it's different. But like, what are the percentages generally on most heads up like all in pre-flop?
I mean, it literally depends on the hand.
It does, but like, and
if nobody has a pair, whoever has the higher card, it's a 60-40.
That's what I'm saying. That was exactly my point. Is like we were just talking about like at most it's a 60-40 split, and we're talking about it like in those situations it's like a 60-40 split with home. I get the analogy from Alex.
I think the biggest issue is like if you have like ace king suited versus 7 deuce offsuit, I'm pretty sure it's like a 65.
Obviously.
No, but I'm saying I'm agreeing with. I'm literally agreeing with you. Like in the most extreme circumstance of no one having a pre-flop pair, it's like it's like a 65-35. Like it's as close to a race. That's the combination of race and close. If you guys are wondering in the chat, that's what that is. I'm making up words out here.
Can I just really quick for the chat before we move on? Windows said in the chat, I'm the reverse. I'm bad at drafting, good with waiver pickups. Have we established Windows good at waiver pickups?
That has not been established.
I don't know that that's established.
He was good.
I also fundamentally disagree with Alex's premise of that, though.
No,
I Windows out here dropping a quarter of his budget on somebody and then dropping him the next day.
He did kind of. I was actually going to pick up Calvin Austin this weekend right before he did, or he picked him up right before I did, but that turned out not to be a big deal anyway.
That reminds me, didn't somebody pick somebody up, use their budget on somebody this week, or not this week, this year, and then like immediately drop them the same day, and somebody picked him up off of free agency? We got to fix that, because if there is somebody if two people bid on a player, and the first person then drops him that same day, it shouldn't go right back to free agency. It should go to waivers. Because like I know the way the default setting is, if somebody picks somebody up on waivers and they drop them immediately, it goes to free agency because it's like the same day.
Right.
But that specifically, I think it was McMillan bid on somebody. He outbid me, and the same day dropped him, and then somebody else picked him up on free agency, and it was like, oh wait, or maybe it was Window. I don't remember. This is a thing that happened, and it was like, this doesn't make sense that I lose a bid and it goes to free agency instead of going to waivers.
I mean,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
We can look into the settings.
But I don't want it to ruin. If somebody picks somebody up that's not on Fab, just picks them up on free agency and then drops them same day.
No, that's just free agency.
Yeah, I feel like that should stay the same. But if somebody bid on them, then it shouldn't do that.
I agree. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
We can see if we can fix that setting before. One last thing in the chat. Windows said, Alex, remember you dropped Darnold.
I did drop Darnold.
So the last thing I'll say before we move on.
I'm a little surprised that you dropped Darnold. Wait, hold on, Alex. You had Sam Darnold and you dropped him?
Yeah, I did.
He's had one bad game. Went 15, 20, 23, 20.
He's had two bad games.
Actually, okay, I think I dropped him like week 2 or 3. Like I dropped him for Justin Fields.
At that point, okay. I mean, so through 5 weeks, he had one bad game. He had 4 points, and then he went on a bye. But after that, he had 16, 18, 19. He had 6, 23, 21, 19, 35. Like, I just don't know how you drop him when he's done as well as he has. I mean,
I was betting on Fields. That's what I literally I picked up Fields to dropped Darnold. I thought Fields was going to be the starter, and I was homer. Obviously, I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I don't know. Can we see past offer reports? Because I'm now looking at the thing. Like, you drafted him in the 16th round. Would have been a steal if you just still had him in the 16th round, because isn't he like top 10? Yeah, he's December 7 quarterback right now.
Yeah.
You dropped him on September 7th. 4 days later, Window drops $115 on him. I'm really curious if anybody else put in a bid for him.
Do you know what day he was? Can you tell what day he was added?
September 11th.
That's another one of those. Like I said earlier this year, Window was good at.
No one else put a bid in for him. Window put 115 on him. No one else put a bid in. So one more thing I just wanted to say before we move on.
Can you tell me what week that was? September 11th. Was that week 3 or week 4?
Week 2.
Right after week 2. It was correct. Before week 2 or after week 2?
It was. Hold on. I just had it up. Give me a second. It was. It must have been after week 1, actually. I guess because September 11th. Let me see.
Okay, that would make more sense. If it was after week 1, it was kind of like, okay, now you didn't know he was going to fucking go on to put up 20, 23,
right.
20.
So
that makes sense.
So a couple things in the chat that I got to get to. Windows said he won Lockett in Fab, then dropped him, and McMillan picked him up. He thought all drop players should go to waivers. Zach, fantasy football and poker might have similar luck for an individual game or hand, but in fantasy football you play one hand per week. And the last thing I want to say about Brad's matchup that I was waiting to chime in with.
So, oh yeah, just really quick window. The reason that all drop players don't go to waivers though is like that way you don't just like pick up and drop everybody that's available, so they all go to waivers. Like if you pick up and drop same day, it goes to free agency. But I think there should be a very different thing if you're putting in a bid on somebody and then dropping in the same day like that. First of all, don't do that. That's dumb. But yeah, if you put in a bid on someone and drop them the same day, they should go to waivers. If you pick them up on free agency and they drop them in the same day, that should go back to free agency.
Yep.
So the point I wanted to make about Brad's matchup, if you had told Brad going into week 14, hey, guess what, bud? Not only are you going to get double digits from Jordan Love, Devon Achane, and Rico Dowdle, but you're going to get almost 30 from Jay Jettas. You're going to get more than 50 points from Josh Allen. He would be going nuts. Josh Allen put up 51 points.
He would have like just splooged in his pants.
And he lost. It's just crazy.
Not particularly close either, by like 10% he lost.
With a 50
I mean,
burger.
he took a risk starting Bucky Irvin knowing he was hurt, but I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, even if he makes that change, I don't think he wins.
But Bucky Irvin, it's close.
Right? If you put Pollard in, it is close, but I don't think he
lost,
wins. Yeah.
I mean, so the funny thing is, if he starts Tony Pollard in place
the Colts
Bucky Irvin,
on
and he
bye.
starts the Colts defense on bye, he wins. He got -4 out of the Bears defense.
Brad, the right answer was there all along. You just had to find it. All right. So we have talked enough about the past. We know what this. I'll just really quick show the standings. I think we all know what they are. Actually, I'll just do the playoff bracket. Zach and I have the buys and are on our sides of the bracket. On my side of the bracket, it will be Alex and his opponent that he chooses. On the other side will be Scotty and the person Alex does not choose. Meanwhile, in the Sacko playoffs, Window will play against McMillan. Jerry will play against James, and the losers will play for the to avoid the Sacko. So we have had enough ado. I think it's time for Alex to make his decision. I don't know, Alex, if you prefer to just say the team or if you prefer to like explain your reasoning. Oh, obviously, we're going to ask why you choose that, why you're choosing the particular team, but who will be your Novaponnent for round 1 of the playoffs?
Yeah, I said earlier this week I really just didn't want to overthink it, and I didn't overthink it. I'm still going to choose that person, but Brad made me want to overthink it in the chat. But I'm still going to pick Jason.
I love it.
That's
who I would pick.
It was a hard decision. I mean,
I didn't overthink it. Then it was really hard.
it was. I mean, it was. Like,
Simple, Alex.
I don't want to disparage Jason's team, but I just don't think it's quite as good as Brad's team. It's just
it's
not. They're all very even. I just Jason's a 6 seed, and I feel like I mean, obviously that's the way it was going to go if we didn't have this rule. So not overthinking it, just going with Jason.
I appreciate it because that means I don't have to do as much work in changing the matchup. So I appreciate you.
So I will say in future years, I'm going to, I know we've never done this, and this is going to be a future thing, just throwing it out there, but reseeding, right? Reseeding moving forward.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put it out to a vote. I'm not saying it's happening right now.
I think it's been on. I think it's been voted on before, and it's been. I mean, you can put.
I don't think we've ever voted on that. I don't think we've ever voted on that.
I'm pretty sure we voted on it this.
I mean, that's part of the benefit of having the number 1 team is being able to play the weakest team.
Exactly, and that is part of the reason. So I did say that. Like, I think what I actually voted put out as a vote last year was top seed gets to pick no matter what, which is why like.
That's
Alex,
and
what my thing was, yeah, you get to pick between 4, 5, or 6. That didn't win. It was decided that 5 or 6 gets to pick. I was saying even in semis, the 1 seed should then be able to pick among the other 3 teams who they want to play. I believe that was also shot down, but I'm just saying I was just throwing it out there as something different as reseeding.
So here was the rule change proposal. Jason Smith proposed allowing the 1 and 2 seeds in the playoff to choose the opponents on their side of the bracket as follows.
Yeah,
24 hours after the final regular season game, the 1 seed selects the who they'll play, who will be the 6th seed. The 2 seed selects the 5, the 1 selects the 4, the remaining team is the 3. And I'm going to see if there's anything else. I think that's it. So, not exactly the same. Anywho, so we know that the playoff matchups are exactly what we're seeing here. Alex will play Jason Smith. Brad will play Scotty. And again, I love this because I don't have to make any changes. I was going to have to make changes before so we could get the predictions on here. So I don't even have to do that. That's great. Before we get to the predictions, we'll do a quick offers report update. We had a big bid by Jerry.
Yeah.
$275 for Patrick Taylor Jr.
So camera just got fuzzy there.
Yeah, you got real blurry. Bro.
I don't know what happened. That was weird. Hopefully it'll fix
Focusing.
itself. Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
Jerry's on dial-up.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So when I'm very surprised that nobody else bid on Patrick Taylor.
I can explain.
There's
I
like
just don't need a running back.
Yeah. So
That's
why. I also sure. I mean, a lot of people don't need a running back, but people didn't need a running back last week, and everybody fucking put a bid in Isaac Grendo. It's kind of the same deal, and that's literally why I put as much as I did into it, and nobody else put a bid. Is like Isaac Grendo got hurt. He got hurt. It's a short week. They play on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's like a 50, probably less than a 50-50. Probably more like a 30% chance that Isaac Grendo plays, which turns Patrick Taylor into a starting running back.
Yeah.
I'll probably get hurt too, because that's just what happens to San
That's
Francisco
kinda
running
just-
backs.
Yeah, that's kind of just
Especially
been
when
it.
Jerry adds them.
I mean, I didn't even have Isaac Grendo last week. I mean, Zach picked him up.
Yeah.
And again, I was saying at the time, like, how the fuck does McMillan not put a bid in for him? Because Window put his whole budget on Isaac Grendo. I put my whole budget on Isaac Grendo.
McMillan, hold on.
Let me look at something real quick.
Let me just see.
Did he spend anything yet?
I don't think he has. I want to look.
Oh no, he did a little bit.
He's got 825. Let me look at the. Let me see if there's a way. I don't know if there's a way I can budget summary. Hold on. Let's take a look.
James is the only one that has more than him at this
James
point.
and McMillan both have more than $800. Brad has 650.
I mean, we know that James has kind of been.
Zach and Jerry are broke. Alex,
saved
you and
a
I
little.
have,
Here's
you
the
and
thing,
I
I
have
got two- I got
10
2
to
weeks.
$12.
I saved a little bit.
I got 2 weeks left. I had to go for broke anyways. Like last week, I put again threw everything into Isaac Grendo, didn't get him. Window put everything into Isaac Grendo to get him. I think a half, like
Look,
maybe not half a dozen people, like 3-4 other people put in bids for Isaac Grendo. Zach gets him by putting his whole budget in, and then Isaac Grendo gets hurt and nobody fucking bids on Patrick Taylor. I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I wish I would have known. I would have bet $1 instead of my whole budget, but I need a starting running back, bro.
if you need a guy, if you believe in a guy, you need a guy, you get the guy.
Even if I don't believe in him, I needed a running back.
Right.
Like if Isaac Grendo doesn't play, that's an obvious start instead of starting both Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. So
Right. So, but I do think it's like I think at this point in the season, like I think it's reasonable to have spent all your money or to have spent close to all your money.
yeah, there's 1 week left. What am I gonna do? Take it with me? I don't get that money cashed out.
Might be 2 weeks left for you.
But I'm saying though, it's like this week or next week is
Right.
it. Like I have 2 waiver periods left.
Right.
If I'm not gonna spend all my money now on a player that could potentially be the starter when I have essentially one startable running back, what am I doing?
So use that money in the draft next year.
So we had a couple other bids, but nothing was major. I put the most money after that on Drake May, which no one else put a bid in on.
That's the second week in a row that you put big money on a quarterback that nobody else bid on.
I again, it's because, and I actually struggle with even making this change, but Derek Carr fractured his non-throwing hand and got a concussion, and they didn't put him on IR. They're saying he's week to week, but I don't think there's any way.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I don't think there's any way he clears concussion protocol and plays this week. And it didn't matter because, again, I'm on
Concussion
bye,
protocol?
but I've got 2 more weeks to come up with. and I need to start somebody other than Lamar Jackson. And my other option is Will Levis, who, by the way, also got injured. And they say he's like gonna be okay, but it's like he has fantastic matchups the rest of the year. Didn't exactly inspire confidence. So I'm like, Drake May was the guy I dropped last week to make that big ad for Will Levis based on his matchups. I feel like May is the safer bet than Carr at this point. I'm banking on that, I guess.
Yeah, I think you kind of needed to do that.
Yeah, I guess I kind of thought like you would have seen what happened last week where no one really put bids in on quarterbacks and wouldn't have put another big in.
Like you said, can't take it with me.
I agree. I mean, honestly, you probably have a better chance of it not mattering as much this week. I mean, next week matters for you. The week after probably potentially matters for you. Like 2 weeks from now, it does not matter for me. It's this week or next week.
I've still got $10 left.
I have half as many opportunities as you do. I will say I kind of regret not going a little bit, like throwing anything into the Ravens. Like Alex, you getting the Ravens defense there is frustrating. I didn't really expect anybody to be putting in much on defenses, and I got fucked on that. So good for you.
No, I am glad I did that, but I've also been fucked out of a few $100s this year just because I just expected people to bid more than what they did.
Exactly.
This is just a joy of Fab, and I love it.
Fab. It's one of the best changes we made.
Zach just put out a rule change that I'm 100% in favor of. Year over year, you get to carry over your unused Fab budget. 100% in.
No.
100% in. Yes, let's do it.
It will never. I don't know that I'll even allow.
I don't care
if
I have to. Why?
There's
that's dumb.
It carries over from. It doesn't make sense. It carries over from season.
It's supposed to be for this year. You get this much for this year. Use it or lose it.
Yep, I agree.
Well, it's a good thing that you can put anything to a vote and have the league vote on it. That's what the Constitution's for.
You're right.
Glad that Sean's already turning into Donald Trump over here, trying to be a dictator on day one.
You're right.
I know I'm right.
It'll never pass.
Probably not, but that's not the point. If I pay enough. But I'm Elon Musk over here, and I'm paying enough people to vote the way I want them to. It might pass.
I've seen you jump. You are like Elon Musk.
Dude, I will roof you. Let's go play basketball. We'll see who can jump.
You want to go body?
Yeah, you want to go body?
All right.
You want to play one-on-one?
Yeah.
Dude, I literally did high jump in high school. High jump.
So.
Like, Elon Musk didn't go 6 inches off the ground.
That's true. So we gotta get to predictions. Let's start.
Window, if your vote is for sale, Window, I will buy you a drink.
Let's start with let's start with the matchup that Alex just predicted, or that Alex just chose. So we've got Alex gets to play against Jason Smith. I don't know if you guys have set your lineups yet or not. There's a couple.
My lineup is basically set. My flex is debatable between DJ Moore and Addison at this point. And
you've also got Breece Hall.
Yeah,
right,
Breece Hall's healthy. He might go in. I don't know.
Breece Hall, I am waiting very with a lot of anticipation, hoping that he does not play this week.
I'm really irritated with the Jets.
I think the Jets are irritated.
The usage of Breece Hall.
Window, you have to settle for Eagle Rare whiskey.
That was my first round pick.
So, historically, as we know from this past week, I mean, this actually is what's great about this matchup, Alex, you choosing Jason Smith, is you just played him last week and you won.
2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I mean,
he could be Devontae Adams. You could make Jason Smith Devontae Adams and lose to you on back-to-back weeks. So
that's actually, I didn't realize that you were playing him final week of the regular season.
He just dropped 177 on him. He just dropped the highest score in the league on him. And by the way,
you know the hardest thing to do is
I'm also projected to lose this week, so
the hardest thing to do is to beat the same team twice.
Well, here's the thing.
What's even harder is to beat the same team 3 times in a row.
Well, no, but Alex has beaten him twice. He won in week 5. He won in week 14.
Did you
What?
Did you hear the next thing I said?
Yeah, I know. I understand beat him 3 times. I heard you. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
He put up 150 or more in both matchups. Alex did. Meanwhile, Jason has yet to break 130 against Alex. So historically, Alex has run well against.
Yeah, Jason's defense hasn't been very good.
Well, he's got the best defense in fantasy.
No, I meant like, God damn it, Sean.
I get it. Because he's allowed a lot of points. So, I will say though, Alex is right that it's a very close projection, but it's a 1.5 point favorite for Jason Smith, probably because he's so good on paper. Really interesting. I'll start with you, Jerry. Who you got?
So, I don't love Ramondre Stevenson. Jason made me an offer very early on for him. And I don't like it. Is J.K. Dobbins back this week? Is there
Can I ask
any
a
chance
question?
that J.K.
No,
Dobbins
JK's
is back?
not this.
Can I
not
ask a
this week.
question?
There's no shot. What's up?
Who is Sincere McCormick?
Sincere McCormick is somebody that I saw on a list today, and I was like, I should go pick him up.
He's the opposite of sarcastic McCormick.
He's the starting running back right now in Las Vegas, but I mean, again, having the starting running back in Las Vegas, ask Brad about that with Zamir White and Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. I don't know how you feel about starting that running back. I don't fucking know, man.
Is he starting him? In my
No, he's
in my
starting.
preview, he's not starting
No,
him.
he's on the bench right now.
Okay.
I think the reality that I'm looking at right now is that I think Jordan Addison's not going to give you 30 again. I think like every fiber of my being wants to pick Alex because I know everyone was like talking about Alex's team is scary. But like I mean, you have Terry McLaurin, who's throwing to him, Jaden Daniels, Joe Mixon against Miami, CeeDee Lamb against Carolina, even with Cooper Rush. I think eventually Amon-Ra has to explode. My gut says Jason. And I'm sorry, Alex, but my gut
No, you don't have to apologize.
My gut says Jason.
You don't have to apologize.
I'm seeing a lot of single digits on both sides here, and it is a very difficult decision, and I know that you just like fucking beat him by 50 and you dropped 180 points on him, but like at some point you're not going to put up 180 like
these matchups get close in the playoffs, man.
They're extremely close. I mean, like I said, we're doing coin flips out here. It's like a single hand of poker who's going to win, and I don't know. Right now I'm looking at the situation, I feel like my gut says Jason.
All right.
So
wouldn't surprise me if you win. Like 100% wouldn't surprise me if you win.
I think what's really interesting is the average points scored is also close, is within like 2.5 points for the players who are in right now. Like this is a very close matchup. This could absolutely go either way. I am flagging as like the good matchups here. I do love Alex's quarterbacks. They've been on fire lately, and I don't. Tua's playing for his season. Tua's been the most efficient quarterback in the NFL over the last couple weeks. He's been on fire. Miami's playing for its season. I think he's still going to come out and have a good day. I also think that Joe Burrow against Tennessee inspires a lot of confidence for Alex. With that said, there's not a lot of other matchups I really love. Maybe Terry McLaurin against the Saints. Maybe Josh Jacobs against Seattle.
But Jaden Daniels is the one throwing to him there.
But yeah, then you're right. So that offsets some.
But that Tyron Tracy matchup against that tough Baltimore run defense.
Well, and like, so,
I don't know that any part of Baltimore's defense is tough this year.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
They're one of the best run defenses.
Yeah, no, so Tyrone Tracy is a tough matchup for Jason. Also, Green Bay has a very good pass defense against wide receivers, so that does not bode well for DK Metcalf. But.
Or JSN. I have JSN.
Jason also has some good matchups. Specifically, Joe Mixon playing against Miami's run defense is incredibly. Miami's run defense is incredibly suspect when it comes to fantasy running backs, and also Kyler Murray is playing against New England's pass defense, which is very favorable to quarterbacks. So like there are good matchups on both sides here. At the end of the day, I am picking I'm picking Jason Smith for a very silly reason, which is I feel like it's just destiny that the first time someone picks their opponent in this situation, they're gonna lose, and I think Brad will score less. I'm gonna add a cherry on top, which is I think Brad will outscore, Brad will score less than Alex this week.
And that's what I was saying earlier in the pod, where it's like I'm gonna be less pissed off if I lose to Jason and outscore Brad than if I lose to Brad and outscore Jason.
And this is who you were gonna play if this wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of. It'd be one thing if like
It's
he
safer.
yeah, it'd be one thing if he picked Brad and then it's like, oh, you picked the wrong one because you switched it and you could have kept it the same. That's part of the reason why I preferred everybody being available, not just the 5-6. Because if you, I don't know if you would have picked the 4 seed in this situation, but I'm just saying.
Not in this situation, no.
Yeah.
So Alex, who do you pick?
I'm gonna pick myself. I don't like doing it, but I think I have to. I gotta have some sort of
Well,
I gotta have some sort of confidence here. Like I'm not
you're
a
the team
very
owner. What are you
confident
gonna do?
guy.
What are you gonna do? You're the team owner. Like, no, I think I'm gonna lose.
I gotta.
We're out here to
Yeah,
win championships.
I gotta pump my boys up here. We're gonna win, and it's probably gonna be a close game. Do we have any Monday night matchups? Yeah, Jason has Minnesota on Monday night. So
Oh my
it'll come down to that.
Imagine it's like tied and Minnesota goes negative.
I would be so happy. Let's move to the other playoff matchup. So we're talking Scott. This is actually the other reason why, by the way, Alex, I was hoping you would pick Jason Smith, is in the first round of the playoffs, we get the repeat of last year's championship. It's
Oh
perfect.
yeah. I didn't even
There's
think about that.
so much to love about this playoff field. So, both teams have won one matchup this week, and really, like, it's because Scotty in week 1 put up 107, and Brad in week 10 put up 92. But again, projections razor thin, less than it's 0.2 of a point right now separates these two teams on projections.
Brad hasn't set his lineup.
Oh, he hasn't? Yeah, because Nico Collins is still on the bench.
Because it's a Wednesday and Brad has never set his lineup before Thursday night.
Well, we can do some quick math. I assume Michael Wilson would be out and Nico Collins would be in, which bumps his projection by about 9 points.
About 7? Oh, more than that. Yeah.
15,
it's like
6.5,
10 points.
8.5 points. So it puts it's about an 8-point favorite.
Tony Pollard also could go in for Bucky Irving. It's another 3.5.
Yeah, so like around 10 if Brad makes both changes.
So they're projected the same right now, and Brad gets another 10, 15 points if he updates his.
Yeah.
So also, is it too late for me to change my prior prediction?
No.
Okay, because I literally spelled out how the entire playoffs were going to go earlier in a chat, and I'm realizing that I picked Alex to win this matchup. And then
So you have to pick him.
and then as I'm looking at it, I was like, damn, my gut says Jason, maybe. And now I'm like, damn, I fucking said Jason earlier, and now I'm saying Alex, and now I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's close, man.
It is close. It's incredibly close.
I'm nailing you down, though. Who are you picking?
I'm going Alex.
All right.
Alex is what I said earlier. That's what I believe. Because not based. I think this is the problem. Is like I said, this is just how it has to go. This is the gut feeling of how it's supposed to go. And then I looked at the matchup. Was like, damn, Jason probably should win this.
So,
and I was going against it. So no, I'm going with Alex.
So I will predict this matchup first.
Go ahead.
Again, if you put in Nico Collins and Tony Pollard, the averages are about even, slightly favors Brad. I really do look at matchups a lot at this point in the year.
God damn it, Brad. Drop Zamir White.
Brad obviously has the ability to outscore the entire league any given week with Josh Allen, with Devon Achane, with Justin Jefferson, and with Brock Bowers. Any given week.
Nico Collins was Nico Collins was the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy before he went down.
Any given week, Brad could outscore the entire league. There is no doubting that. But he doesn't necessarily have a lot of great matchups this week. Devon Achane against Houston's run defense is tough. Justin Jefferson against Chicago's pass defense Chicago is not a great defense necessarily, but they are good at limiting fantasy wide receivers. Josh Allen against Detroit is tough against quarterbacks. So
Rico Dowdle though.
Dowdle has the best matchup of the week. He has Carolina. He's gonna eat. But Dowdle, even on what's his best performance of the year?
20.
He's never gotten 20.
19-8.
Yeah, he's essentially got 20. But like,
yeah, but now he's playing against the worst run defense in football.
I get it. I'm just saying that's his best matchup, and it's really I would say his only really really good matchup. Meanwhile, Scotty has a couple. Buffalo's run D is porous, so Jahmyr Gibbs I would think would eat. Both Bo Nix and Jameis Winston get pretty favorable matchups in Indy and Kansas City. And Kyren even against San Francisco's run defense. San Francisco's banged up to all hell, and their run defense isn't that good. There are, I think, more favorable matchups generally for Scotty. I also think that when push comes to shove, I trust Scotty's team a little bit more. And as much as I would love, I said in the chat today, I would love nothing more than, I don't want either of these teams to win a title because they would both be insufferable. Scotty especially because he'd be back to back. I said in the chat I want Scotty to lose in the first round. It made me so happy. But I just feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like Scotty's going to win again, and it's going to be Zach versus Scott on the one side of the bracket. So that is my prediction.
So, Alex, I will let you go because I'm going on a little bit of a rant. So go ahead.
I think this is gonna actually be a pretty high scoring matchup, or it could be a very high scoring matchup. There's a lot of high upside guys on both teams. But I'm actually gonna pick Brad. I just like his Josh Allen, Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson, Devin Achane. Just
Brock Bowers.
yeah, I'm gonna go Brad.
All right, Jerry.
Sorry, not a whole lot of explanation there. Just let's go and Brad. Go ahead, Jerry.
All right. So, correct me if I am wrong, but I believe I am correct. Has there ever been a repeat champion? Has there ever been a back-to-back?
No. No one has ever won back-to-back.
All right. No one's ever won back-to-back. Now, I know it's a thing where a few people have been first-timers and gone on to win the league. I believe, don't quote me. Again, I could be wrong about this one, but I believe that Brad has the longest drought of someone who has never won a championship. So if you've never won it, who has the longest drought? I believe that is Brad.
You are correct.
I believe that Brad's team is a team of destiny. There was a stretch around year 7-8 of the league. I don't remember the exact number, but there was a stretch. Maybe it was 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere there, where like Jason was always like, he was right there and couldn't win. And then there was like a year of destiny for Jason, where I think he put up like 80 points in the championship and fucking won. Like no matter what was happening, Jason was just fucking winning it that year. And I believe that Brad is that team this year. His team is really good. He's 8-6. I think he's probably underperformed actually how he should have done. Again, Nico Collins goes down for 5-6 weeks, whatever it was. He was the number one wide receiver in fantasy up until that point. I also think his team is just built for the playoffs. He has Tony Pollard. He has the backup to Tony Pollard. He has Devin Achane. I don't know that he has the backup for Devin Achane right now, but there was somebody else that he had a backup for. Who am I thinking of right now?
It was Devin Achane, but Mostert got hurt.
Yeah, Mostert is Mostert in his IR spot right now?
No, Zamir White is.
Zamir White's in the IR spot. Fucking
Team of Destiny.
No. Team of Destiny, though. No, I honestly believe that. Like I said, part of what I was talking about earlier is that Brad's team is going to beat Scotty's team. He's going to knock out Scotty from his title defense. Scotty didn't deserve it last year. He doesn't deserve it this year. I mean, if Jamar Chase is just going to go out there and fucking have another, 10-plus catch, 175-plus yard, 2-touchdown game, I don't know what you can really do or say about that. But I am taking Brad. No one's gone back-to-back. Brad's had the longest drought. Brad's paid his dues, if you will. I'm going with Brad to get into the second round.
Is it just Brad and Wendo that haven't won yet? I'm just curious. I'm not talking shit. I'm just I'm legitimately curious.
I believe you are correct. Let me double check, but I believe you are correct. Because I have won. Let's just go to here. I'll go. Just go through the list.
I mean, it's not a huge. I was just curious. I can look it up afterwards.
Jerry has won. Jason Smith has won. Jason McMillan has won. Alex has won. James has won. Zach has won, and Scott has won. So yes, Brad
Okay.
and Window are the only 2 active members who have never won a title.
All right, that's interesting. I mean, it could be the season of destiny for Brad.
It's a little bit early for that.
I'm just saying.
Let's switch gears now and talk about the less fortunate teams at this time of the year. And
I'm so glad that James didn't make it. I'm sorry, but I am very glad.
He deserved not to make it. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
You know,
I was rooting so hard against him.
Like with all the times that he with AJ Brown being on his IR, with all the times he his lineup,
he did give me a win that week, but
he had every opportunity to be there. It's a shame.
Yep. Yeah, he has a decent team and just decided not to set his lineup.
Well, and here's the thing. He does get to play against Jerry right now. He is projected as a favorite. Both teams won 1 game of the season matchup. I don't know if Jerry, I know you've set your lineup. I don't know if James has set his, particularly because I think it depends on Lad McConkey's health, but obviously Brian Robinson Jr. is also potential. Like, I would think he would probably move Brian Thomas Jr. to his wide receiver 3 spot and then put Brian Robinson in the flex, which would bump his scoring by.
This is true.
I'm also,
I don't know. Sorry, I was out for a second there. I don't know if that, if, again, depending upon if either Breece Hall or Isaac Rendo is playing, one of my running backs could swap in there for Kareem Hunt. I'm assuming I'd get like somewhere in the range of a 5 to 10 point bump based on whether or not one of those two would go in.
Jerry, just a quick question. If James doesn't set his lineup this week, are you going to be texting him to tell him to set it again?
Oh no, I can guarantee you I will. I will tell you that I will be texting him.
I think the major difference that we are running into for this
I'm just busting balls.
I know. But like, no, at least his lineup right now, at least you can say like, hey, everybody's playing. He had 3 players on bye.
Yeah.
Fucking go on like Friday. It was like, bro, like, come on, man.
You also texted him on Sunday night about the injury. Like,
I only did that after you guys said it.
Okay, you guys were like, so you still did it. Like,
you guys were like, you guys literally were like, I wonder if Jerry's texted James about Lad McConkey, and I was like, oh yeah, I probably should do that.
Please, everyone, text James right now and tell him to set his lineup against Jerry.
Yes, set your lineup. I literally said I'm a proponent of everybody setting their lineup no matter what.
I put it in my notes.
At least this lineup makes sense. Like, you can at least make an argument of, hey, this is the lineup that I want. Like, no, you don't want 3 fucking players on bye in your lineup. Like, there's no scenario where that's the thing.
So,
I don't
who
care.
Do you have,
send
Alex?
him a text.
I'm gonna just say who I want to win. I want Jerry to win, so I'm just gonna say Jerry.
Yeah.
Respect.
Jerry?
I've thought about it a lot. I deserve to win.
I think James is a little better, but I want you to win.
I think not having Christian McCaffrey hurts. I deserve to win. And I have too many fucking wide receivers to start right now. I have like 6 to choose from for like fucking 4 spots. And I'm gonna pick wrong. I know that. But I think that karma is on my side right now, and I think that I am going to get the win. So I'm going with myself.
Is your lineup as it's currently set? Is that what you're planning to rock with? I understand the running back switch, but as far as wide receivers, is that your wide receiver core?
I don't know. I think there is a decent chance. I think Keenan Allen has a really good matchup with Minnesota. Like, I think Minnesota is like the worst against wide receivers in fantasy formats. Adam Thielen just fucking keeps putting up points. Like, it's hard to like. I want to start Adam Thielen so bad, and like every week it's just like
coin flip. Yeah, I mean, like,
coin flip, and then he fucking drops 20 or he drops 15, and
right.
Then I have like a T Higgins that puts me up with 3, and it's just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, because what's interesting is your bench matchups are all pretty good in the grand scheme of things. Purdy and Wilson are the and Rodgers are the best matchups, and also it does help that the Bengals play against Tennessee's terrible offense. But like you've got some good matchups in the grand scheme of things.
I thought I had hard wide receiver decisions. Jerry has hard wide receiver decisions.
He really does.
Here.
You can make a case for Keenan Allen and Adam Thielen both starting. I would say Kupp is a lock, but other than that, I think you could make a case to bench. I think Garrett Wilson's also a lock. Sorry, but I think you can make a case to bench or start any of the other guys. I will say that I like your matchups more. I like James's team more, which isn't surprising. Like, he's averaging more total points. I think you're right that you will get a mage. I think, honestly, it's a coin flip if you get one of those running backs as a starter. Like, if Braylon Allen starts, if Breece Hall's out, or if,
yeah, I've been fucking reading things like all day, and it's like such a fucking it's like so indecisive. It's like Isaac Garendo, he left early from the game on Sunday, and he also was a non-participant on Monday and Tuesday. No way to tell if he's going to play on Thursday. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just fucking rule him out if he's going to be fucking out. And kind of the same thing with Breece Hall. It's like, hey, they don't want to shut him down, but why would they play him?
Yeah. I've literally read a report that said he's struggling this week.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
Yeah, it's like no one knows what that means. But literally, it was like, yeah, they don't want to shut him down for the season. They don't want to do that, but they also don't want to like it's just I don't get it. Like, I mean, like I said, I am very happy that Isaac Garendo, like the San Francisco playing on Thursday. Isaac Garendo, I'm gonna know tomorrow whether or not he's playing, and if he is, cool. Then I don't start Patrick Taylor, and I just wasted my budget for no reason. And then I sit here and pray that Breece Hall doesn't play.
I agree that one of the things to talk about is, like, James deserves to be in the Sacko more than you do.
This is true.
We talked about whether there has ever been a back-to-back champion. You know what else I don't believe there's ever been? And correct me if I'm wrong.
There is not.
There has never been a back-to-back Sacko.
I mean, do you understand how, again, unlucky, losing coin flips you have to be to have that happen?
And Jerry, if there's anyone who's that unlucky,
it's been me in this league, I know. But
I am predicting James, and I do think his team is better on paper. But I mean,
no Christian McCaffrey hurts. I mean,
I think,
and even Isaac Pacheco, since being back, hasn't been anything to write home about.
Right. I think he deserves to be in the Sacko more, which is why I think you'll be there. So, the last matchup we have of the week, the other Sacko matchup, is Window versus McMillan. Obviously, I think this is, on paper, Window's game to lose, right?
Yeah. McMillan's team just is not very good.
We talk about McMillan. We talk about deserving to be in the Sacko. Absolutely, McMillan deserves to be there. He has had the objectively worst team this year. He hasn't spent hardly any fab.
He made one trade and he objectively
botched that one.
Lost it. Yeah.
Botched toe. That's a botched toe.
I will say that if you're literally talking about skill in fantasy football, I think trading is the bigger factor in that. And yeah, he just lost his main trade that he did. So pretty much traded away. I'm trying to remember. He traded away he got Marvin Harrison, and then he traded away, I think, Puka Nacua and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, for Harrison and Herbert.
Yeah, and Herbert's one of those guys where it's just like, it's amazing he's doing as bad as the quote I'm going to use, because like I think he has like one interception on the year, which is fucking amazing. But in like 12 or 13 games,
they just don't throw the ball.
Yeah, that's just it. It's like 13 games. I think he has like 11 touchdown passes, but only one pick, which is nice. It wins football games. It's why they're like 8-4 or whatever it is.
FYI.
But he's just not producing fantasy results.
Herbert did miss practice Wednesday.
Who's the other quarterback? Do they have one? No. No, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, because he inspires confidence.
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ.
It's going against McMillan's Raiders, too.
He's over here hoping that fucking Michael Penix Jr. gets the start this week. I mean, Kirk Cousins has just been fucking brutal lately. Like, let's see. I'm actually curious. Okay, yeah, his last 4 games, his highest performance is 10.24 in his last 4 games that he's played. 2 of them he went below 5. You know how hard that is to do as a starting quarterback? To multiple weeks go below 5 points. It's 100 passing yards. 1 touchdown.
I mean, you have
I
Kyle
mean, LA
Pitts.
Chargers,
you
4
know,
fucking picks.
you know what that's like, right?
What?
So you have Kyle Pitts. You know what that's like, right?
I literally I've been arguing about the Atlanta Falcons coaching malpractice since like week 6. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to utilize the weapons they have. They've waited way too long to move off of Kirk Cousins because I get he was having like a pretty okay season through like the first like 9-10 weeks of the season, but like he's just been awful the last like the last 4 games. If you had to guess how many touchdown passes he's thrown without looking it up, how many touchdown passes has he thrown in the last 4 games?
2,
17.
Less.
1,
Less.
0.
0. If you had to guess how many picks he's thrown in the last 4 games without looking it up,
8.
literally, it's 8.
I know.
He's averaging 2
Well,
picks, no
forgot he threw-
touchdowns over his last 4 games.
I forgot he threw 4 against the Chargers
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Much to my chagrin, my 11-leg parlay really didn't fucking like one of my legs being the fucking Atlanta Falcons money line at home in a fucking game that was a toss-up. Yeah, no, he's just been unspeakably bad over the last 4 games, and I don't know. Tell me where the Atlanta Falcons are in the standings that makes it make sense that they shouldn't be throwing in Michael Penix at this point. I mean, I guess they, in theory, I guess they can still win the division. Maybe they make the playoffs, but is Michael Penix
that division is trash.
But
it
again,
is trash. Actually, they're only a game back. That's actually a little bit of a surprise.
We're
I
also
thought
talking
they were
about-
gonna be 2 or 3 games back. But yeah, they're 1 game back with 4 games to go.
we're talking about McMillan's backup quarterback, though. Here's the bottom line, right? Like, in this matchup, Window obviously has the better team. Both sides have some very favorable matchups. So, in the grand scheme of things, obviously I go Window. I think Derrick Henry is going to run all over the Giants. I think Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuel, Khalil Shakir all have, like I said, very favorable matchups. The Chiefs get to go against the Browns. I think Jameis is going to have some turnovers that'll help. And again, I just don't think McMillan can beat Window. I just don't. Obviously, he put up 130 this past week. If he does that again, he's got a shot. Like, Window's floor is low enough that 130 could be enough.
He put up 130 in a week when the lowest score was like 115. So
yeah, it's for me, it's Window.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Window too.
I get it. I understand. I feel like Window makes sense on paper here.
Which is why you're going with
He's also starting 2 tight ends, I just realized.
He is starting 2 tight ends right now, which I think is a mistake. They're both questionable, which could be interesting.
McBride is a good play.
I don't know if they're playing or not. I don't know what the questionable tag means.
Whichever one of
them.
Walker or Charbonnet is starting, I don't know why you wouldn't start one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Charbonnet just put up like 35 fucking points. So it's a little bit of a surprise to see his
Well, he doesn't have Walker, does he?
Yes, he has both. Walker's in his IR right now.
Is Walker expected to play?
I don't know which one. I'm just saying, whichever one does play, I would start them.
Exactly. Like, that's kind of my point.
Let me just make sure.
For the same reason that I sat here and said that, Brad is a team of destiny, and obviously anything can happen. I think it's the flip. I mean, Window. Sometimes shit just hits the fan and you go unlucky, and people who deserve to win matchups don't win matchups, and people who don't deserve do. And I think this is a situation where Window's going to end up in the last place game, and it sucks, and kind of is what it is. Maybe it's a little bit of karma for not trading me Jordan Mason early.
He buried the lead. Oh, man. So that's it. Those are your 4 matchups. Zach and I... man, I feel so relaxed this week. Like,
it's amazing, right? It feels good. Once you eliminate, you're gonna feel so relaxed.
Thank you guys all for watching. Everybody who was in the chat, we had so many guys tonight in the chat. Thank you, Alex, for jumping on the pod late at night and joining us and making your decision here for the first time. Thank you, Jerry, for being on as always. Yeah, good luck in your playoff and Sacko matchups to those of you who are playing. And we will see you next week for the semifinals and the Sacko Bowl. So it's going to be a good time.
Oh,
All right.
yes.
You always say that. Are you talking about doing prophecy or the actual movies?
Talk about doing two chicks at the same time.
No, we're talking about what the fuck, Alex?